Welcome to the last. I was thinking of this. This is gonna be the little tagline. Welcome to the Young Talk podcast, the last honest podcast. That's what I think.
Okay.
Because I think we talk about real shit. The last honest podcast. The only place you'll get real information, real reactions, real opinions, real news. Really.
We're not dishonest.
Nah, we don't lie. We don't lie. Everything we say on here is 100% real.
But we'll lie to our girls, but not to. But I mean,
sometimes you
Yeah.
don't need to know everything. But I'm Father B. You already know who I am.
Big Dark, Daddy Dark. I'm hard as fuck in the night. Like right now.
Nice.
the number 6 and the number 1. No, wait, that's not a McDonald's order. But it's still 6-1.
I've had the same erection for 4 hours.
Oh no.
We keep
Oh,
it
no.
truthful.
Okay.
You
All right.
what?
We keep it truthful.
All right. We're gonna let's get through this because I need to get this stuff off my chest.
He's losing his mind.
I've had such a fucking day looking at things online. So what I did, we're just gonna jump into these topics. I don't really care how you guys' week went. Spider-Man is out. All these other games are out. They're all dope. The PS5 looks amazing. The Xbox is trash. Right? That's basically the summary of the week.
The Xbox does have
They
worthwhile
have
games
no
right
games. They have no games. I already knew that going in. They have no games. But that's all we need to talk about on that section. So, kid shows. I made a mistake, and I was like, that thing they talked about on for a brief moment, the official podcast when they mentioned the whole Dan Schneider situation with the feet. I was like, let me look that up and see what was going on, because I love Nickelodeon growing up. I watched all the major shows.
Like feet?
I mean, I'm not going to deny it. I don't have any opinions of feet. I don't hate them, but
I do.
So this theory, or this conspiracy, in case people don't know, basically it's a thing that people think Dan Schneider had a foot fetish, and that
kid foot fetish.
Yeah, a kid foot fetish essentially, and he would kind of play out his fetishes on the shows that he would make, and then there's a lot of clip. If you watched any Nickelodeon show, right, you'd see their feet at some point.
Mostly the live action.
Yeah, not cartoons. Anything Dan Schneider produced, or written, like as a writer on. There's countless clips of it. There was a competition from Sam and Cat, right, where they did this, and people submitted pictures of their feet. The Nickelodeon logo is even a foot at some point. So there was a lot of talk about this, and I looked into this today. This was in 2018 when this shit was huge.
You're not live.
I'm not because I'm not showing anything yet.
Oh, I thought you were trying to point us somewhere. My bad.
No.
Hey, we keep it honest.
Yeah, we're staring at him right now.
The reality is there's no real truth to whether or not when Dan Schneider was in. Yeah, it's never been confirmed. Which I think is interesting.
Conspiracy theory.
So before we get into this, what are your stances on it? Do you guys think he's a foot fetish guy, or is it just? Do you think it's just a funny thing?
Zoe 101 had sandals 24/7. God.
People who have foot fetishes need to die.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Nico.
Oh, Nick's here. Oh my God.
Oh.
Okay.
Special guest.
Sorry, boys. I was too busy playing zombies.
No, I feel you. Cold War looks really cool.
I keep hearing mixed things about it.
You're muted.
Oh no.
It seems like it's really fun. To be honest, I saw Charlie play the campaign, right, and then now he's playing the zombies too. So it seems like it's not too bad.
I feel like zombies is always fun.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Now that I'm here, let's keep talking about this foot fetish thing. Rodrigo, you want to talk?
Because we only have 30 minutes before Daddy Dark has to leave. But if Nick and Josue is here, we can talk about the full.
It's gonna be spicier.
We can talk about this full thing and open up the whole can of shit.
Pondering
basically-
Penguin has actually told me in the deep of the night that his foot fetish has evolved over time.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. I
You
will
guys talking
believe it.
about Zoe 101 and Dan Schneider.
You know
we
this
on there.
thing.
The
What an-
Nickelodeon sign was
What an
a
interesting man.
foot, the shape of a foot. It like
Yes.
he didn't make it no secret.
No, he
He
didn't.
didn't try to hide it. He
He wanted people to know.
wanted
So-
he was trying to open up the foot fetish, and he did.
Word
Is
of
there
the day
anything
is
wrong
foot.
with having a foot fetish though?
No.
Like I feel like
You
it's a
think about
harmless
it-
one.
When you,
You
think,
think
about it,
so?
I
Ever-
mean, what's the extent to it? I always thought like maybe you just like looking at food.
Yeah, you're right. It's always about preference, but that's just the wrong
But the
preference.
thing is that it was
yeah, that's
mostly
just the
kids'
wrong
feet.
preference.
The thing is, it's
Oh.
kids' feet. That's the thing.
Were they though? I don't know. I think like Gibby was like 18
So-
years old or something.
Well, here's
like
the
that.
thing. I mean, because I looked at the interview with Noah Monk Gibby, and
That's a
the thing, I
that's-
didn't know the official podcast did an interview with him.
He did, like, yeah, that's why, like, I
Yeah.
figured out, like, he's a YouTuber. Then I looked up his YouTube channel, and like, damn, he makes some pretty funny shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Right? Like it's crazy. I was so happy to see that. It was like a crossover episode for me. To see two people because I love Gibby, but he said that he never saw Dan Schneider in that way, or he never was exposed to anything like that. But I was also like, he's a dude. Like, no shit, you aren't going to be exposed to that. Dan Schneider's not going to have you come into his room late at night to look at your feet. You know?
You don't know that?
I mean,
But
then
yeah,
why did he always make him
what if
take
he
off
has
his
beautiful
shirt?
feet?
yeah. I was like, but he did mention, he was like, he did take off his shirt a lot. But he was the only character that really had to take off his shirt a lot. So I don't know, maybe. I
Wait,
mean,
who?
Gibby.
Oh,
took
I
off
think
his
it
shirt,
just
like,
had to
every
do-
episode.
I think it just had to do with him being fat as
Yeah.
a kid.
That's
I
where
don't
I was
think it
like,
was-
that one. It was probably just
I think
funny.
I think it was mostly just a joke.
What are we looking at?
so. Oh, I have this video queued. We're not going to look at this whole video because it's 20 minutes. I watched it earlier in the day. I suggest you check it out if you haven't seen it. Dan Schneider, A Scandal at Nickelodeon, right? It goes into this shit in detail. But it's really all speculation, which was a little disappointing to me. I thought it was going to be some big shit where it was revealed, and that's
Like,
definitive. You know?
that's how most documentaries are. Like, it's mostly just like accusations with like, they say it's proof, and then they like do like, what is those scenarios of it? Like,
Yeah.
what are those
Just
called
like
when they
supersize me.
when they like interpret it with actors? What is it called? Like,
It's a mockumentary or a just a
'cause, like,
reenactment.
reenactment. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
kind of like stupid, and I woke up
No,
and
I
I'm
couldn't
like
think of
still
the word
fucking
either, to
tired.
be honest. Couldn't think of the
Oh,
word.
Not just
yeah,
kinda.
and like, cause I watched one about like this girl who like they had like this neighbor, and the neighbor like liked her, and he was a pedophile. And then he had an affair with the mom, then had an affair with the dad, causing them to divorce. And he like took care of her because they both trusted him. Like, it was like pretty insane, but like all of it was like speculation, kind of.
Wait,
though.
he
Like,
had an affair with the dad too?
it was interesting though. Like, so.
This is crazy. I really don't know what to think of when I see this shit in general or hear about these types of things. Cause I'm like, how do we like,
How do you
How
process
do we know
that?
if it's true?
yeah, like
How do
I
you-
don't like,
No,
I can show
honestly,
you
like,
guys,
how do you process that?
right. I can show you this clip, this moment in the video where they have video, photos. We don't need the sound. I don't think. If you tune into the stream that I'm streaming on the Discord, you'll see it.
I just see a view gallery.
A view gallery.
Open your
It
eyes.
says view gallery. Open your
Oh, shit,
eyes.
no, I see what you're talking about. What the fuck?
Lamau, dude.
Open
is that?
your mind.
Oh, I'm looking at
Prime
all
Video?
your tabs. I'm looking at your
Oh.
tabs. What is that thing that has the like hub?
Oh,
see a
because these are
PH.
all the things I want to talk about.
Who is that? Who
this is
is
Jeanette
that?
McCurdy. So
That
let me
is
tell
Jeanette
you about.
McCurdy?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about how I even came up on this because I was watching iCarly recently, and then on Amazon Prime they have like our shit about the actors, you know. And
Yeah.
apparently Jeanette McCurdy, she's pretty artistic. Like, and by pretty artistic, I mean she's the type that does the crazy artistic type shit.
I mean, she's
Um,
pretty hot.
Psychedelics.
No, yeah, she is. I totally had
kidding.
a sexual dream about it last night. But that's
Okay,
not what
we
the video's
didn't
about.
have to like know that.
uh,
I just like, yeah.
I mean,
I'm
haven't
horny.
we all? I mean, come on now.
Come
But
on.
No.
I mean,
I'm horny.
But is this showing what I want it to show? Yeah,
It
sexual
says,
behavior.
yeah.
So I mean,
It's muted
that's
though, so
why.
like.
No, I muted
how-
it because this isn't the part necessarily I wanted to show. I wanted to show these photos that these photos kind of with like we don't need to hear the sound.
Look at the double chin.
Yeah, like you see these photos with them, and then it's like,
Why is he strangling her like in every photo? Wait, who's
like
that?
this one, he's literally Erin Sanders, the girl from what's her name, Quinn from Zoe 101.
I don't know.
The thing
like,
is,
you
you
would
can't
know
get
her
away
if you
with this
see it.
anymore.
She's so fucking hot without
if
like
you-
the makeup and shit. When on Zoe 101, she looks like a totally different person. But that's her.
I
The
saw
thing
it.
is
Built like
that
a barrel.
the thing is, like, if you did take those pictures today, you wouldn't get away with it.
No, like
Okay,
especially
well,
this
okay.
one.
What is that?
Especially
Yeah, like you
this one.
cannot
No
like,
way.
That's
you cannot
why
Wait,
get
what
away with
pictures?
that today.
What are you talking
on the
about?
stream.
Oh, I'm not looking at the
Like-
stream. Hold on.
Yeah, look at the stream.
Like, if this image released today,
I didn't realize the stream
automatic
was up.
pedophile.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
for sure.
And I mean, it's
Look
not
at
like
the face. Look at his face.
that's what I'm saying.
Why
I
are you
feel like
dragging the man?
He looks
Nickelodeon
like that
isn't
one-
home to this though.
He
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
not-
that one neckbeard meme.
It's really
Looks like the type of
creepy.
person that'd be, hey man, leave her alone.
It's
No,
so
he looks like
creepy.
he looks like a redditor.
He is a
He
redhead.
looks like
I
He's
mean,
Dan
yeah.
Schneider.
Okay, so this is the part I wanted to show. So
Okay,
basically, basically,
The shape of a foot? Is that what you're trying to say?
nah,
the full shape is a foot?
no,
I think you're
I'm
going
gonna
too
play
much
the
in
sound.
depth, younger.
I'm gonna play the sound. It's not just about the feet because we all know that Nickelodeon has been home to perverts and shit, right? So
I thought it was only Dan Schneider.
no, there's been other people. Like, I mean, I saw like a video that Charlie watched with Catch a Predator, where one of the predators worked at Nickelodeon. He was like a producer or some
I think
shit.
I remember that. I think I
Yeah,
remember seeing that To Catch a Predator episode.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
With my boy Chris Hansen?
mhm. It was a good episode. It was funny.
Let's pull it up.
But there's been I mean, I don't know. I saw it on when he was streaming on Twitch, so I don't remember what the specific video was. But I'm sure if you type in "Catch a Predator" or some shit, it'll be there. But that's not the person I want to focus on. This scene or this little moment is about what children were like when auditioning to be on Nickelodeon as a star.
Oh wait, weren't they like playing in like the water or something like that?
So yeah,
like in
apparently,
a pool party. It was like
Yeah.
something.
apparently they would host pool parties, and in order for you to get discovered, you'd have to be at the pool, which is so creepy. Like you, I'm gonna just play the video. let me back up. So that way we're not. Oh well, no, that's no. Well,
Why
that was
are you
pretty cool.
talking over it if you want us to listen?
You right. Oh, look what you made me do. Look
That
what
is all
made me do.
you.
Man, you're always blaming the black people. Here we go.
Okay.
It's all right. It's 2020. I accept
No,
it.
no. You're making me racist right now.
I've been in that
Real
I feel like
Oh,
you
wait,
should
I
turn on
can't say that.
captions.
I can't say that.
All
Squirrel
right.
Guy's gonna get canceled on Twitch. Sorry, guys. I
think
made
you
it to
should turn on
200 followers.
captions.
I think it's time for me to leave. Sorry.
You guys ready?
Hashtag-
Okay, I'm
Hashtag
ready. I'm like
Nico is
seriously
over
now.
party.
For sure. I'm gonna turn my volume down a little bit.
I'm
too.
gonna
I think you should
report
turn
and-
on captions.
I'm gonna report you to Andy. Sorry, Rodrigo.
I
You
don't
guys
know
ever
why.
wonder
For what?
how we're
I don't know.
biased
All right, let's
against
go.
ugly
Let's do
people?
this.
Wait, what?
What? Let's start.
No,
Press
let's
the
go.
play.
So what would happen is that your parents would send you to sort of like this camp. It was basic acting classes, and it was an opportunity for the kids to get discovered. And interestingly enough, most of the kids got discovered by the pool. They had a pool, they had like tennis courts, and I believe like it was like Megan Fox and other female and Hillary Duff was another one
Ooh,
who got discovered there at
I
the
didn't notice
pool.
his beat.
And they would push you to do pool activities because they said that's where you have the highest chance of getting discovered.
Now,
Who's
what
talking?
was the age?
So, and then
Who's
they get
talking
into
right
it.
now?
That was an interview from someone that they didn't disclose who it was. It was just another actor. I don't know if it was a major actor or just someone who auditioned to be on Nickelodeon at the time. But
Megan Fox is a child actor from fucking Nickelodeon?
I mean, I don't know if Megan. I mean, honestly,
it was, like,
Megan
during
Fox
the
has been on a
90s.
lot of shit. Yeah, so probably.
Has
Yeah,
she?
that was something.
Yeah, she was like on a teenage show or something. I don't know. I forgot what it was called, but yeah,
You
she
mean
was
she
on a
was
couple
on
of shit.
something else besides Transformers?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I knew she was in like Jennifer's Body and like the
No.
first 2 Transformers,
No, yeah, she's been in.
but that was pretty much it. Like
no,
that's all I
yeah,
remember. Like,
she's had a young acting career. She was
and
in
look,
shit
and
in
where's
her
she at
teens.
now?
I have no idea. Dating MGK for some damn reason, but it's a depressing time. But yeah,
Machine Gun Kelly.
they dated for. I don't know if they're still dating. I doubt it, but that was a thing. Ruined, I think, 2019 for me. But yeah, this is just part of how that whole auditioning process would go for children. There's more interviews where they talk about how children would, or in order for them to audition, they'd go into a room and then they'd be asked to take off their shoes and all this weird shit. And at first, initially, I was like, maybe it's because the fact that he does find feet super funny, and you don't want to have someone on TV with terrible looking feet. In the same way as if you're applying to be a hand model. You can't be a hand model if your hands aren't up to a certain standard, you know? So at that point, I get it, but
Would you be a hand model?
I can't be. I bite my nails. I won't find the point in being a hand model anyway. It's such a disservice.
There's another reason why, but I'm not gonna say it.
What for? I mean,
all right, this
I
is
don't wanna
taking
know
a
anymore.
dark turn.
There's a
this
lot
is
of-
I don't want to know anymore.
This is the bad ending. I'm sorry.
there's a lot of crazy
Let's-
shit.
Let's keep going.
There's a lot of crazy shit. I'm not gonna get into all because there's just so much information to take in when you watch this. Like, there's even this rumor that Dan Schneider is the father of Jamie Lynn Spears' baby.
Who's Jamie Lynn Spears?
No one knows. Zoe 101.
I thought her name
The
was
reason
Zoe.
the show got
No.
the reason the show got canceled.
Yeah, her pregnancy
Perhaps
is
the
why it
most
got canceled.
absurd allegation
But here
towards
goes
Dan
the
Schneider.
here goes the
How
part
old
on
was she when she was pregnant? Hold on.
it. 16.
Yeah, he's about to. The video's about to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
this
I've
will
seen
tell
the
you
video
all of
too.
it that you want to know. Ironically,
Alright.
I also had a dream about.
Is that he is
Zoe
the true
101
father
cast
of Jamie Lynn
before all of
Spears'
this.
daughter. Yeah, this is a little silly, but it does lead into something interesting, so I'm going to bring it up for educational purposes, just so you guys know. Jamie Lynn Spears, the star of Zoe 101, infamously got pregnant at 16 years old, which resulted in the cancellation of the show. Crazy Days and Nights is an online gossiping website ran by an anonymous blogger known as NT,
I don't
a
understand how this theory
self-proclaimed
works.
dialed-in entertainment lawyer. Supposedly, NT was able to predict certain scandals involving big-name celebrities, such as Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, on his website years before mainstream media caught on. Obviously, there's no way to verify this as accurate, despite the Daily Beast believing so. Regardless, there was an interesting post made by NT in October of 2007 saying,
Hopefully
I don't
you guys
even know how you
understand this.
define what list someone is when they are on some ensemble show watched by teens and preteens. So go with the above and make her a female. Make her pregnant, which is causing the producers to have a heart attack because they really don't need any more scandals. But wait, there's more. One of the producers, who was old enough to be her grandfather, shouldn't be having a heart attack because of shock, because he is the one who knocked her up. New boyfriends are being lined up as we speak.
So that was a post that was made on that website. I don't understand it. Like, I watched this part over and over, and I don't understand what this quote is saying.
It's basically like what is that term called? Hominy? Like it's kind of like foreshadowing. Like I understand what he's trying to say, but it's like,
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like a hypothetical. Like, is it a hypothetical or or it's like a suggestive thing? Like, as if he's saying this without actually saying it. I don't like. Cause I was like, this is a weird way to word this entire paragraph. Like, to say that someone, is to make this. Like, I don't even know what he's saying here. Is the point. I don't know what the point of this paragraph is, and how you get the theory that she got pregnant by Dan Schneider. But
well, it kind of
yeah.
says it right there at the end, like have make her pregnant, and the producers will like have a heart attack, except for one of them because he's the one that knocked her up. Like,
Oh, I get it now.
I mean, but I'm saying, like,
so like kind of like when I don't know I think when it's saying like make her a female, basically like put her into adulthood because she's like a teen or a preteen. I don't know. This
It's
is like
weird.
something really weird. Like I don't like talking about like this is like
This
some
is
pedophilic
yeah.
shit,
This
bro.
is
Well, I mean, but
Yeah.
we're not obviously looking at this as we're like trying to look at these children at the time.
All right,
as, you
on to
know.
the real question now. Why was I tagged on your like
Oh,
post on Instagram?
oh, you want to talk?
And
Yeah.
there was no name or like there was no like context of me being involved yet. I was tagged.
Are you
in it.
sure? Did you not see the name Mr.
No,
Gordo?
who's Mr. Gordo?
He's on which page is that? I don't have the script in front of me, but he's like
Is
on
that
page.
supposed to be a fat joke?
No, Mr. Gordo
I
is
think
your character.
And Gordo in Spanish is fat.
Oh,
All
I
right,
had no
younger,
idea,
you're
but that's
canceled.
the
You're
word you
canceled.
wanted.
yes.
I
Oh,
picked that
I'm
name.
bringing cancel culture
I
on
picked
you.
that
Come on,
name
David, let's go.
because
Bro,
you
came
said to
in here
call
and said,
yourself that
"Call
on
me
the
Gordo."
podcast. So I was like, that's a
And it wasn't even Mr. Gordo. It's El Gordo.
Well, I know I couldn't put L because I mean I wanted that
No,
to be
that's
his last
fucked up.
name.
That means he's like the Gordo.
I wanted it to be
Yeah,
his last
I'm
name.
the fat, not just Mr. Fat. Like
I
Mr.
could.
Fat.
I mean, I
sounds
could write it
stupid.
in
He's
there.
about
Mr. Fat. No. You know what? Keep it. Keep it.
But
This is your.
that is
it's
your-
script.
I mean,
It's your script.
I do want. I thought that'd be a cool way to put you into the film. I wanted to put as many people in there as I can with, like, just different, without you being directly involved.
All right. No,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
So then I'll say the lines, and you have someone like voice over or like ad lib it for me, and it'll be my voice. That's what
Oh yeah.
have Rodrigo. Have Rodrigo be two characters. Just one of them with.
I mean,
longer
someone has to
hair.
be two characters.
One
There's
of them.
so many
one
in
of
there.
them. Just one of them with longer hair, and that one will be me. And he'll ad lib me.
There's so many characters, but we can talk about the show or the movie
character's
later,
gay.
like on a more.
Like, I want like Rodrigo to open his mouth, like he's like screaming, kind of like monotone, like but in the actual like volume, it'll be me going, ah.
I mean, we could. Anything is possible.
I think that'll be hilarious.
Anything is possible.
anyway.
So, I mean, do you guys think? I mean, well, I feel like it is
Back
pretty
into
clear.
the topic.
I think it is pretty clear that Nickelodeon is a place for perverts or pedophiles to
was.
work.
don't know
I
about-
mean, where isn't honestly like they're all everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
anything with kids involved is fucked.
It's really wild. I mean, I feel like
Look at
I'm.
look at Disney Channel. They got rid of Mitchell Musso.
We'll
on
talk
Pair
about
of
Disney
Kings.
Channel. We'll talk about Disney
And
Channel.
no, they got rid of Mitchell Musso.
I'm saying,
and Pair of Kings.
Don't even get me started,
and
bro.
After that, they didn't even end the show. He just
Nah,
got replaced.
He did.
And the whole show went to shit.
Yeah, I loved
I
Parakeets
stopped
to my
watching
heart.
it when, like, that episode when he left. I thought he
Bro,
left.
I
I
cried.
thought like that was the end of the show. I didn't know. I like barely figured this out that there was another like it was continuing still. It was
Yeah.
just poorly poor.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I liked the dude that played Boz. I forgot his Adam Hicks because I loved him in Lemonade Mouth, and I think that was around the
Adam
same time.
Hicks.
He's
Oh,
the,
wait, the white
he's a new
boy?
guy.
Zeke and Luther.
Yeah,
Then Zeke and Luther. I think.
Oh, he did it.
yeah, that's the new guy. That was the guy they replaced, and I mean, he does a good job. I'm not gonna lie, like he's funny. He's definitely adds a bit of funny, but the show definitely takes a different. We could say pair
Like, kind of like turn of events, huh?
Yeah, it changed. In my opinion, it changes how it should have ended. Like I would have loved to see him and fucking Mitchell and Michaela get together at the end or something. You know, like that shit would have been so damn a satisfying.
Oh yeah,
ending.
because like he had like a crush on the
Yeah.
girl, and like
But
the
we
girl's
can-
dad was like the security guard.
But
yeah, since
Disney
he
Channel
left,
is.
he kinda, like,
We'll
once
talk
he
about
left,
that too. That's
just-
actually on today's
why
topic.
are you cutting me off? I'm trying to.
Because I'm
speak
saying that's
here.
gonna be later, but we don't want to talk about it
we'll
now because
get
that's
there.
gonna be it's gonna be in the
'Cause we're
Disney
gonna get
Channel
there.
section. Trust me.
All right.
Because yeah, there. I mean, you know why he got kicked off though, right?
No.
Oh well, then I'll tell you later.
Yes.
It's not crazy, but Disney is strict. But this feet thing is really wild
That mouse.
because I want to go back and watch these shows. Because I
But it
didn't
kinda
know.
got ruined.
Well,
Dude,
I mean,
look at his face. He looks like he does not want to see this, but like he has to like look.
shit. Like okay, so I didn't see this shit in Victorious, and I don't remember a ton about Victorious. But I remember
Okay,
enough.
yeah.
Like I remember the slap. I remember going onto the website and like having a ton of fucking fun on it because it was it was a kid website and Nickelodeon, and like you watch the show, but I didn't know this is something that they
Website.
did.
Now, here is where
here's the
things
thing.
get even more unusual. On September 13th, 2013,
So this is I'm gonna skip
tag
past. This is the flip
Sam
thing.
and Cat Saturday, and a number of people did. This is just one of many now infamous fee-related tweets from Dan Schneider and his shows, but this is the most
Prepare yourself.
well-known. You can find several if you look around long enough. During the same year, there was a post on Reddit about how Dan Schneider is the most successful writer slash
Okay, this
TV
is the part I
executive.
want. This isn't the part I want.
Paid
Where is-
no,
let me-
reach basically
This
to
is
what
just, this is
channel
just
known
Reddit
as
rhetoric. I just
Yeah,
saw the. Wait a
for-
minute. I just saw the thingy, the little thumbnail.
I feel like you are ruining my experience.
You want to see this whole video? Watch the whole video on your own time. We can sit and watch it for 20 minutes, but I can
Should
tell you
link
now,
it in the description.
it'll make this podcast even more longer because we'd have to watch
feet
all
and
the full
toes to be
videos.
funny. And to be honest, some of the scenes by themselves are rather harmless and something that I can imagine on other
That
shows.
was funny.
However, it's undeniable that there are a large number of fee-related puns and barefoot scenes in the shows, too many to list here. Outside of television, there are some weird examples, however.
Better than
In
their
Victorious,
answers, my friend.
Tori hosts an online show
Yes, sir.
called Tori Takes Requests, where viewers can ask
So
her
I didn't
to
know
do
about
all
this.
sorts of random things.
Andre
In the
told
very
me.
first episode, Tori gets a request to have ketchup poured all over her feet, and then she does a little dance at the end. In another online show called Cat's
feel like that
Random
was the creepiest
Thoughts,
shit.
there's a moment in the first episode where she sticks her big toe in her mouth. I didn't really watch Victorious growing up, so I don't
So,
know of these.
It's like after seeing that type of shit, it makes me think like, holy shit, did we really not pay attention to the shows we watched? Because I mean, we were old enough to
You're
know.
kids. No, we
That
didn't.
got me thinking. Damn, we were listening to Ariana Grande sing when she put her foot in her mouth.
That's what I'm saying.
I was watching shows when I was like 12, 13. I didn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, we
I
won't
just
be
turned
old enough
21,
to
dude. Come on,
connect the
come on,
dots,
come on.
but like at least to
Trust
see
me,
that
I didn't
something was
understand
wrong.
a lot of the stuff that
I
happened
just
in the
turned 20.
regular
Oh, by
show.
the way, my birthday party, I got fucking smashed, guys.
Nice.
I like, I'm
Nice.
like, every time I smell alcohol, I just like get
He's
sick
still
of it
feeling
already.
it.
That's
I'm,
the-
I'm barely even
Same.
started
Welcome
drinking.
to the club.
Same.
Club.
That's
Nah,
how
so
you know.
Once we meet up each other again sometime. we
Oh
gotta-
yeah,
it's time
Right
to
now?
party now.
yeah. But
You
that's
thought I partied when I was sober? Wait until I'm
fuck.
actually
I'm
drunk.
scared. But that's basically the thing on Dan Schneider is this feet fetish, which is not proven or disproven. I personally think it's kind of true to a certain extent. I don't think it's as bad as people make it seem. I personally think he just finds feet a good source to make comedy. I
But
don't
was
know
it
why.
good comedy?
I think it was odd. I think it was odd comedy, and I think that's why a lot of these. Because I mean, iCarly, Victorious, Sam and Cat, all these other.
Was
Live action
Big Time
shows?
Rush directed by or produced by Dan Schneider?
It's never
No.
mentioned in this, so I don't think so.
No. No, it's not.
Because I feel like
It's only his
I mean
shows.
I liked
No, that was by,
iCarly. I watched a bit of Victorious.
Big
Going
Time
on
Rush
one,
was
I was
by,
like,
the guy who made Johnny Test.
Oof.
okay,
Fellows.
that makes sense because I liked Johnny Test's humor. Like the
Mhm.
jokes they cracked were pretty good.
You mean the
and-
wood cracks?
Johnny
Shut up.
Test was
And
wild.
Johnny Test, like,
Before its time.
why do people say it's dumb? Like, yeah, it's dumb, but that's what it's supposed to be. Like, kind of like just wacky. It was a wacky fucking show.
True.
But nonetheless, Big Time Rush, I found that show to be like, funnier than Sam and Cat, iCarly.
I never watched Sam and Cat.
Victoria. It's whatever. It's not that good, honestly.
Yeah, I heard it didn't.
It's just
it
like
didn't finish.
two of your. They basically did like, oh, it's two of your like favorite people from two different shows now.
Yeah. There's a
Doing their own thing.
there's a bit of a clip in here I think about it where, or it's in another video, another conspiracy theory video. So this is gonna transition into all the rest of the conspiracy theories. So how many conspiracy theories do you guys know when it comes to Nickelodeon shows?
15.
Nothing.
None. You
SpongeBob.
know 15,
Diddy.
Daddy Dark.
I know 15.
What's 15?
Do you know the like? Can you name us one just in your own that you?
Okay, we're talking about
read about?
Nickelodeon, right?
Oh, he knows
Yeah.
15 as in numbers. I thought there was like a show called 15, like a 15 conspiracy.
'Cause I found some.
There's a show
SpongeBob
called
is based,
17.
SpongeBob is based off a satanic cult. Look it up.
I know that
the
SpongeBob
seven
is
deadly
based off of
sins.
nuclear warfare, though.
That's the one I meant. Nuclear warfare.
Yeah,
I
I mean
mean,
that I looked into and I believe.
But I
I could like, this is the first time I'm hearing it, but like, one of their like jokes they do is like when they explode, like they like
Yeah.
fucking get
When
nuked.
when Squidward falls
so
off his
like,
bicycle.
if they were basing it off like nuclear like warfare, I'd believe it because they're like literally showing the sea explode.
The thing with SpongeBob, it
When
was
Squidward falls off
I
his
didn't-
bike.
I didn't look too heavily into it. But I know that it is based on the nuclear warfare, like not necessarily like directly, but it's just kind of saying this is like there was a warfare and therefore the
You're
fish are reacting to it.
How much Blame It on George have you been watching?
Blame it on wait, what? Where is that at? What are you?
That's the YouTuber.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the YouTuber made
I don't know.
video.
Oh,
I thought you were going through history.
I don't. Yeah, I was trying to find which one I saw the specific on the SpongeBob, but I don't know. I watched a lot of these in a very short amount of time. But yeah, I know that's what it was based on. Did you guys know that
No.
there's a theory about Mr. Krabs and that how he has eaten all the
Oh
other
yeah,
crabs?
I know that. I know that.
Where did you see?
Is anyone
what
else
was the
not
theory?
shook by this?
Then why is the no? Actually, like
Wait, what are you
it
talking about?
makes
I
it
don't know what it
makes
is.
sense. Like it's
I don't know
not
what it
like
is.
super dark or anything, but like
Wait, what was
what
the
it
Wait, I
is.
didn't
I
hear.
think that
What is
shit's
it?
dark as hell.
What
How?
is
was the
it?
theory?
How?
This nigga
Mr.
killed
Pink.
every single crab, and then Krabby Patties, a crusty
They
crab.
joked about that on Robot Chicken.
This
I
dude-
mean, he literally
They
say
did that on
that
Robot
like
Chicken.
Mr. Krabs takes a bite and he's like, "Oh, so that's how I taste," or something like that.
They did
Like
that joke
he's
in Robot Chicken.
I think it's really ridiculous. I find this the most stressful theory within SpongeBob that I've ever seen.
I mean, you have
Because-
the proof. Who else is a crab in the show?
That's what I'm
One,
saying.
his
They show his
grandmother,
relative.
his grandma.
Can't use
Two,
grandma.
all the other rich, the rich cheap people that probably can get a like
Apparently they
survive,
showed
like
other
escape
his other
his
like
grasp, because Mr. Krabs is like cheap, like that's like the whole like joke, and what's a
apparently
cheap
one of
way
the
of,
recent
what's
episodes
a
they showed
cheap
his
way
like
of
great
doing
grandfather.
like shit?
That's what I'm. I think it's on this one. The top 10 darkest Nickelodeon theories. We can. Oh, that's what. So
But
that's
this is
also,
Watch Mojo.
That's what I'm saying.
some of these because this is where I found some of the wildest and funniest shits I've ever seen.
But it's
And
Watch Mojo.
yeah, this is
But
the,
it's
this is where I
Watch
found the
Mojo.
SpongeBob one. What's wrong with? Is
It's
it
trash
like?
and the-
Is it just goofy
It's
shit
not.
all the time?
No, it's just Watch Mojo. That's like the whole thing.
Well, yeah, this is the one with the
Competition.
SpongeBob
SpongeBob
one where they
SquarePants.
talk about the
There are some SpongeBob fans who
Nuclear
believe that the
warfare.
main character's flaws are meant to represent the 7 deadly sins.
or not.
But others think there's a more
guess.
scientific explanation for their bad habits.
For doing absolutely nothing longer than anyone else, Patrick!
The nuclear
So I wanna
testing
go through
theory
these
says that
and
SpongeBob
debunk all
and
of
his
them.
friends were regular
Or
marine
some of them,
creatures
actually.
until they were mutated by radiation from atomic experiments. Fans noted that SpongeBob's hometown of Bikini Bottom sounds like Bikini Atoll, an actual location where the US tested nuclear weapons. In addition, explosive clips of mushroom clouds have appeared several times on the show.
Let's eat!
That is
yeah,
true.
see?
There's a
Like,
fucking ton.
This is what I was talking about. Explosions.
Perhaps things aren't as innocent as they seem near that pineapple under the sea. Number 6.
So
Arnold
I don't care about Arnold, but yeah, that was the one where I was like, okay, I
You
believe
don't
it.
care about Hey Arnold?
I never watched it.
No, I never really
I
watched.
actually,
Yeah.
I barely watched
The only
it,
thing
but
about Hey Arnold I saw was the thing that really made it weird was the fact that this dude had a football head against everybody else. I was like, yeah, no shit.
pre-Stewie Griffin.
And he gets bullied by the girl that likes him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then this is the Mr. Krabs theory. When I say this shattered everything I saw when it comes to SpongeBob, I can't.
Cannibal Crabs. SpongeBob SquarePants.
It makes sense.
Mr. Krabs' arch rival Plankton has always wanted to know
This
what
dude
makes
is
the Krabby
eating
Patties
everybody.
taste so good.
Now hand over the secret Krabby Patty formula.
The answer may be cannibalism. According to
Oh,
the
no,
theory, the
it was
legendary
that
burger
episode.
is made from actual crabs.
We've both lost our luster.
Bro, look at his
Look,
face.
like-
That's what I taste like.
Before you sit
See,
on
that's
some
what I
of
was saying too,
barnacles,
like-
consider this.
They
There's a
joked about
noticeable
that on
lack of
Robot
crabs in Bikini Bottom.
You know what we say?
The only people who don't like a Krabby Patty have never tasted one.
The Krusty Krab's menu items,
I
like
got
the
it
puff
wrong.
fries,
This
are
is so
likely made
odd.
with the same ingredients present in their title.
I need a triple Krabby Supreme on a kelp bun.
So why are they
with
eating crabs?
Extra sea pickle and
Because
burn
they're
it to a
fish.
crisp, okay?
And the restaurant itself even resembles
And then
a
the
large
fact that they're talking about that the restaurant looks like a lobster cage, bro, I freaked out because I never made the connection. Like,
Really?
no, I didn't know that was a lobster cage. At
That's
least as
what
a
I
I'm
kid.
mean,
saying.
like
Find out when
literally,
you're
like
older.
all their houses, everyone's houses are like, what are those engines or like mufflers from cars that like get over the sea and shit?
I never
like-
noticed that shit. Now that you pointed it out,
Yeah,
either.
bro, the
That's
Dude.
hella creepy.
Squidward's house is literally a Moyai fucking thing.
No, like I know SpongeBob, Squidward's, and Patrick, the way their houses are set up, are kind of like cool little.
What do you mean?
I imagine them
Captain
as like
Rock.
fish tank decorations type shit. Where I'm like,
fish
okay,
tank.
like the
Sandy's
shit
in
that
a
you
fish tank.
like you put them like those are the type of shit you put into a fish tank for decoration or something. The pineapple is a little out there, but it's SpongeBob, so I understand.
So you're not gonna like brush over how Sandy lives in like a globe.
I understand
on
why
the
she lives
very
in the globe, though.
bottom of the ocean, where the pressure would be.
But
like-
it's,
Their own
but she's
little
scientific. She found a
ecosystem.
way.
The pressure would be really high for it to like break the glass. is what
Nah,
I'm
but
saying.
she's scientific. I figure she finds a way to make that shit work. So that's why I never questioned Sandy, because she's the smartest.
She can't go
she's
back
super
to
smart.
Texas.
Yeah, but I
What's
never
so great
questioned
about
her.
Global Texas.
So my mind gets fucked up because I'm like, they really was serving crabs up in here. Mr. Krabs was really eating crabs, and no one said shit.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like
Mr.
it's just a
Krabs.
terrible way to introduce
I
kids
mean, he
into
has
cartoons.
to be like secretive about it because that's what makes the secret
The
formula.
secret form.
So there's that one. There's two more I want to show on this clip that really took me for a loop. The first one is the Fairly Odd Parents and how Mr. Crocker is sexually abusing Timmy. And I
What?
don't the way they
Wait,
get
what?
yeah, yep.
That's
You heard that,
that's
right?
kind of out there.
I mean, when you hear the theory, it makes sense, right? Like, cause
No, it
Timmy's on antidepressants, and if you didn't know, he's on antidepressants, bro.
Where?
Because of
Ooh.
Crocker, because of Crocker's relentless pursuit to hunt Timmy. So let me show you guys. Let me get to right when this thing starts. This is the
Number two.
Rugrats. I do believe in the Rugrats. but-
Mr. Crocker is hunting Timmy, the Fairly Odd Parents. Mr. Crocker may be more obsessed with Timmy than his fairies. Throughout the Fairly Odd Parents, Crocker constantly suspects that his young student will get him access to fairy godparents. But one theory claims that the fairies are a metaphor for Timmy's innocence and wishes for the future.
That's
Crocker
deep.
wants to steal both by sexually abusing his student.
Mr. Crocker!
You get it?
Wait,
You got the connection?
what?
That's no.
I don't have the.
That is out there.
No,
That's way out there. I was
That's
like, wait,
way out.
what?
I don't believe.
Just in case you missed it.
Sexual abuse out of nowhere.
Parents. But
That-
one theory claims that the fairies are a metaphor for Timmy's innocence and wishes for the future. Crocker wants to steal both by sexually abusing his student.
Mr. Crocker!
all right, but like, yeah,
Yeah, where does the sexual abuse come from?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, bro. I don't know where that part comes from. Other than maybe it's like he's
Like,
hunting
okay, I can
for.
understand. Like,
Go
I
for
can
it.
understand the fairies representing what he wants and his innocence, but
He
where
wants
does the
Timmy's
sexual abuse come
innocence.
from?
He wants Timmy's innocence, and therefore, it's sexual. Is what the way I connect it, because that's because
That theory is still out
it's
there.
out. A lot of these theories are.
that
out
is
there.
a really vague theory.
It's very vague, and I find it
Like-
the funniest. I find it funny. I find it so funny because I'm like, how do you get that connection? I want to be that person that makes those connections.
Like, how do you?
There's
Some
more.
versions
Like,
of this theory,
you can't
Timmy's
come up with that.
There's more to
fairies
this.
represent the antidepressants he takes to cope with his teacher's endless pursuit, neglectful parents, and abusive babysitter.
10-year-old kid, inattentive parent, evil babysitter, pink and green parents, and soapbox cars! Oh my gosh! Denzel Crocker must have fairy parents!
So
Although
basically,
he pretends that his wishes can be granted,
What,
the
there's more?
reality is that he's stuck in a cycle of misery.
Timmy is just in hell, like in reality. Or, like his parents neglect him. His babysitter bullies him, and his teacher is after his ass. So
No, that's the whole thing. That's why he has fairly.
yeah, which I believe. I mean, some of it I
That's like
believe.
the whole point. Like if he's not like he's all like
Yeah, that
not
part
happy.
I don't get
he
the sexual
gets the
part. Though.
fairies.
Yeah,
So, I didn't understand the sexual part, but hey,
like I said, that's out there.
keep your head up, Timmy. It'll get better.
Or you'll be played by Drake Bell.
So obviously, so there we go. We just debunked.
They didn't
another
bring
one.
up the antidepressants yet. Keep playing it.
No, that's it. That's pretty much it.
Why don't any of the things I wish for ever become reality?
Before we
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I
What
mean,
was
I didn't.
number one?
Number one, let me see. I think they talk about the Thornberries and the show called Doug, which I
Doug,
vaguely
yeah.
remember Doug, and it was about the guy that's with him is a pedophile, which I believe he looks like a pedophile.
That guy, the purple guy.
Yeah, he looks like
the
100%.
purple guy.
Like I don't even gotta show the video.
No.
Oh,
He
okay.
looks like a
No,
pedophile. Dude's
Nick.
hiding in the bushes with a.
Nick.
He's literally naked here.
It's the
Like-
purple guy.
It's the purple. What do you mean the purple guy?
So
The man behind the slaughter.
I'm Batman.
He's
The
Biden
last
87.
one, the last part I want to look at in this video is my favorite one. It's the
Why are you
best
still
one.
looking at him?
Just embrace him, bro. Is Danny Phantom? Have you guys heard this one?
No. What?
I actually didn't watch that much of Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom was my shit.
It was so good, bro.
Did you hear this theory about him?
Play the theory and I'll let you know.
This one's Avatar too. I'll start it at the
An
Avatar one.
apocalypse is a depressing possibility. The ghosts he fights
that's
represent
like
aspects
every
of his
cartoon
personality.
theory.
For example, his arch enemy, Vlad Plasmius,
This deep.
symbolizes Danny's resentment towards his
legit
parents for
every-
the accident.
This shit's hella deep.
Train you, teach you everything I know. And all you'd have to do is renounce your idiot father.
Wait.
Is this why
Oof.
Danny's catchphrase is "I'm going ghost"?
I'm going ghost!
In case you miss it, cause he's saying I'm going ghost, he's about to die. Basically, I think this is the most fucked up theory I have ever seen. Because
Every
it's,
show has a characters in a coma that
like
theory.
this. I don't know if every show has that.
It's more like an anime called Noragami, where a girl like gets fucking hit by a truck, but she gets saved. But she still like lives in like that plane with all the gods and
I'm
stuff.
just thinking of that one.
You see Noragami, right?
I haven't
Is it
seen.
the
You
one
know-
where the girl
you know what
runs
I'm talking
out
about,
and then gets hit by the
Rodrigo?
truck? Is it the one with the girl running out?
Yeah,
And, then
and
gets
like
hit
it's
by
like
truck?
the god's really
The one that gets-
poor. Like it's like a small god.
No, I don't
But I
know
mean-
what it is. I just seen that clip.
Think
Yeah.
about
Like
it. Though.
always gets memed.
No, it doesn't.
I
Is that
feel
an
like
isekai?
this
No,
one
it's
makes
not.
sense though.
But like
Danny
no, but like
Phantom
she like
isekai.
no, but in the anime though, she like goes unconscious, like, and goes in that half state of life and death, and goes in the world where like all the gods and like the demons they fight are. That's what I think about when he's like this whole theory. Like
I think it's
But
true.
is Danny Phantom an isekai?
no,
I think
joking.
this one's real. I think this
I'm
one's
joking.
real. Because when you think about what happens to Danny, bro, he gets a whole ass electrocuted. He gets whole ass electrocuted and walks it off. How does that work? I mean,
it's
a
a
cartoon.
Nickelodeon
It's a
animated show.
cartoon, sure,
It's a kid's cartoon.
It's
sure.
a
But
it's a
take your
kid's
head out of the sand for a second. He got electrocuted. It's very possible that he could be in a coma right now, the entire time, and his parents are just debating if they should pull the plug. I think that's just the most
This is
fucked
by
up
the
thing.
same guy that made the Fairly Odd Parents.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Drugs were involved no matter what.
I find this one the most interesting, and I find this one to be the most true. I like
Another
to believe it's true.
wacky animated show
Yes, me and my friend Brandon, we had a heated
That's
debate.
how-
that talks about innocence and sexual hunting.
I mean, sure, these shows can have subliminal messages, obviously, about neglectful parents and how children, deal with that. But what if Vlad is really just Danny, bro? Like, what if they're the
Why?
same?
Oh, no,
What if it's just a
because, He literally
manifestation?
like there's a future Danny Phantom who's like evil.
What if that's
like-
just? What if
I
that's
don't
just his
understand how
own
Vlad was like
mind?
his denounce of his parents. Like why? Because he says denounce your father.
I mean, I know Vlad doesn't like his dad, right? Because he tries to get with his mom. Maybe there's some. This is why I'm like, maybe there's in the reality where he's like outside of his coma, his mom is the one that doesn't want to pull the plug, and his dad does. And maybe this is where that conflict is coming out. Because there's a thing that people believe you can hear and shit, you know, even when you're in a coma. So what if,
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously you can hear.
like, yeah, you could still hear and react to a certain extent, or not react, but you know what I mean. So what if that's the case? What if that's the case? Like, every time Vlad shows up, it's really just a debate between his parents about whether or not they should be pulling the plug when they go visit him. I'm like, that shit's hella deep. In my mind, that shit's hella deep. So as far as I
think
know,
they should pull the plug.
I think they should pull the plug on my boy. He's been through so much in his head. Just let him. He fucked up.
The show is like over.
But
So they put-
yeah,
Wait
these
till you
were.
hear the theory that Ash from Pokemon is also in a coma.
Bro, there's so many. There is so many theories. I remember.
Oh,
I like.
have you guys
never
heard
ages.
the Ed and Eddie one?
It's been like 10 seasons and he's still.
I haven't
fucking
looked
10
at
years
Cartoon
old.
Network yet for theories, but I will. I want
Oh.
to save it for its own thing.
That's where I come in.
I like Generator Rex. That show's insane. It never finished though, sadly.
Yeah.
I have faint memories.
So let me see. We can either, because those are the main theories I wanted to look at within Disney. I mean Disney, Nickelodeon. There's more. There's more with Drake and Josh and Jerry Trainer.
Corporations.
Wait, is Conspiracy about Jerry Trainer? Oh wait, is that the whole like fucking
He
like,
kidnapped Megan. Yeah.
Meg made her iCarly. He
Mhm.
like
I believe it. I love for that theory to be true. I think that'd be the coolest story, to be honest. It's the coolest storyline, and the most. That'd be like some super Marvel Cinematic Universe type shit. Because this is that theory.
So did Megan have asthma?
I don't know.
That would be
was
like
it ever
the main
established
key.
that she did though?
In iCarly, yes.
I mean, no, like in Drake and Josh, I never see a moment
Well,
where they talk
that's
about
what
it.
we have to. That's like that would be
That
like
would.
the
You're right. That would be the defining factor.
yeah.
Fuck. But I didn't know he also shows up.
Because that makes it. Because in the end of iCarly, that is like the huge point that they're taking Carly away from Spencer because he's not responsible.
Yeah.
But before she leaves, he pulls out the.
No, that wasn't the
fucking-
last episode. That was like, yeah, that was like season 1 actually, or yeah, that was season 1. I just watched that like a few weeks ago. That was season 1.
You are right. That episode, everything you're saying is correct.
No, yeah, but that was an episode. And then I didn't know he showed up in Sam and Cat again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this was the part that was where I was like, oh,
Which
shit.
guy? Which guy?
Jerry Trainer. He shows up as Crazy Steve again. In Sam
Okay,
and Cat.
Crazy Steve.
So
because
probably just a cameo.
No, it's a cameo.
In iCarly, tour of the girl that plays as Victorious came as 2 people. 1, Victorious. 2, that one gamer from that Rats fucking Pac-Man Rat game. And he made out. They made out with each other.
Did they? I skipped that episode. I fell asleep watching. I don't remember.
He like beat the high score and then they just start making out. That's like the whole fucking end of the episode.
That's wild. But I mean, there's
What a Chad.
there's a lot of theories. But I mean, we can look at this Jerry Trainer one real quick. Let me find the beginning.
He's Tough Puppy.
Yeah, I love.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like Tough Puppy. I'm not
Tough
gonna lie.
Puppy was hilarious.
It was
Also
it was
made by
good.
the same guy that made Danny Phantom
Yeah.
and Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
You could tell from the art style.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy
Shut up.
Steve's kidnapping plot. iCarly. Drake and Josh featured Miranda Cosgrove and Jerry Trainer as associates Megan Parker and Crazy Steve, respectively.
You eat my enchilada! I thought we settled it! You eat my enchilada! I thought we settled this!
After
I'll
that
be
show
honest, I see
ended,
this
they
theory
were
more as
cast as
someone's
siblings Spencer
headcanon.
and Carly Shay
There's
on
only
iCarly.
one part of this
One
that I
theory
find that
suggests
connects
this
it,
was more than
I'll
coincidental
wait.
casting.
Why?
Does it upset you?
Yes.
Well, that's why.
Before the events of iCarly, Crazy Steve murdered Megan Parker's family.
I better call the SWAT team! No.
He then forced her to move to Seattle and change their identities so they could pass as siblings.
I think I can fix a little broken countertop. Ow! Owie!
Carly's web show is her attempt to reach out to people who might recognize and rescue her. This kidnapping theory would explain why Crazy Steve was in a mental hospital in iCarly's spin-off, Sam and Cat. Number 3.
So I think the thing that
I think
connects
that's just
this.
someone's headcanon, to be honest.
Yeah, that was probably canon. But we know what I think connects
No,
this all?
someone's headcanon.
What is that?
It's pretty much how. I don't know how to explain it well. It's pretty much like.
Wait, what's canon?
No.
Jerry
Canon
Trainer or Crazy Steve and Sam and Cat.
No, because canon is pretty much what exists in the world, like in like whatever like fictional world.
I know what
Headcanon
canon means.
Yeah.
And headcanon
But
is like
head canon is like
outside of all of it.
something that it's something that you envision.
You interpret based on what you already know.
It's sort of like your own interpretation.
Right. Like an assumption,
Like
basically.
saying like Spencer and Crazy Steve are the same character.
Because he's wearing that, he says the lines, he's doing this thing.
Like if you say like they're in the same universe.
But here's
like
the thing.
Basically saying it's. I mean, well.
Here's the thing.
Sam and
Though.
Cat is basically a collab.
Like,
do you guys remember Zoe 101?
It's not
what
really
the Drake Bell episode.
No.
Drake Bell did a concert at Zoe 101 for their spring fling.
Okay.
So they've established that all these places do exist in the same place. Sam and Cat does exist in the same world as Drake and Josh.
It's like that. It's like that one Disney Channel multiverse with like Sweet Life and Zack and Cody.
And we'll get into that too.
Like that.
There's theories on that shit. Even though I think those theories are just dumb. It's just I know why they just hired the same actors because it's fucking Kid Networks, you know. But I was like, that's hella
the
wild.
actual shared universe.
Yeah.
That they have on Disney Channel.
Yeah, I mean, because there is we'll get to that one like in 2 minutes.
Then why is Drake Bell not famous in Jake and Josh if he played a concert?
Because Zoe 101 takes place after Drake. If you follow the timeline, technically, Drake and that episode is already after Drake and Josh has ended, if I'm not mistaken, or it's after Drake has already become pretty well known as a musician.
What year does Zoe 101 take place in?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know
thought.
that episode is definitely well after Drake and Josh.
How do you
Because
know?
I remember seeing it and I was like, holy shit.
Did they air around the same time?
The season that he was on and Drake and Josh, no. By the time he showed up on Zoe 101, Drake and Josh was done. That I know for a fact. I just don't know when.
So
Zoe
Drake and
101
Josh
started.
was before Zoe 101?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's the only thing that really connects all these things is how the timeline works. Drake and Josh, and then Zoe 101.
So then Drake's
and then
alive
iCarly.
still.
Yeah, because he makes
Crazy
a
Steve
cameo.
didn't kill Megan's family.
No, yeah, that's the only part that doesn't work because he does a cameo in iCarly. Like at the end of one of the episodes, he comes in and pretends she's still Megan, and sits on the couch and is like, "Where's Josh?" And it's a funny little 30-second thing for fans. But that's what I'm like. That's the only thing where I'm like, bro, imagine this theory's true. He really killed all these people and kidnapped Carly. That's hella funny. But that's the ultimate thing I love about these theories is that they do the fact that the networks use the same actors. You get all these fun theories and conspiracies and mashups and shit. Obviously, they're not real.
Wait till you see like older black and white movies.
I'm saying you start seeing some weird shit.
You should see how many people played like Frankenstein and like the old or like Frankenstein's monster and like the old Universal Frankenstein movies.
It's ridiculous. So we're gonna move from Nickelodeon, because that's pretty much where my theory. That's where as wild they got. I know the theory about the Rugrats and how the babies aren't real and Angelica's
They're all in Angelica's head.
Yeah, except for the actual baby or whatever. But makes sense.
I don't believe that.
Because I wanted to look up this. That's for space and time. This is for space and
all
time.
of
This is
them
for
aren't
space and
real.
time. Technically, yeah, you're right.
Rugrats isn't real.
See, like where it said like is Danny half dead? I'd completely believe that, not like he's in a coma. Like if
half dead works. I believe half dead. We'll save Teletubbies for the next one. I'll jump to Disney Channel since we're on this roll.
What about the universe?
I think Me Canyon did a great interpretation of Teletubbies.
I don't even want to look at that. I'm scared. We'll save it. We'll save it for daytime. So Disney Channel. So with Disney Channel, I mean, there's already like a lot of history, right, with Disney Channel being racist in the past, and there's a lot of crazy. But I'm not gonna look at all the Disney movies specifically because we already know that stuff.
Disney conspiracy theories in general are such like a huge rabbit hole.
It really is, and I don't know where to start. because I
Wait till
looked
you
at
see
a lot.
wait till you get into like Walt Disney conspiracy theories.
I don't know. I don't want to touch the more of that side, just mainly the Disney Channel like shows or shit we watched growing up. Because I knew that to a certain extent the stars had to go through certain rules and certain limitations. I just didn't know.
What are you slapping back there?
My dick.
Oh, shit.
That's definitely father
Understandable.
slapping someone, bro.
Understand.
Sounds like a fucking
Look, you
electric
know, it's
wire
it's,
going
it's those
off.
like it's like two balls connected to
Oh,
one
yeah.
stick. And the clackers. That's what they're called.
Oh,
Caracas.
I got one from like a birthday party, and I'm like, I've had it on my desk like ever since. That's loud as hell.
Yeah, sorry. I was not expecting this to play a fucking Mickey Mouse song.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay. Before we jump into this, I'll insert an ad break. No, I won't. I don't want to do another ad break. Ad breaks were
Just do
fun
it.
to make, but they're
do
just.
it.
It's the thing. I don't do them till the very end, so it's like by the time I'm done with the videos, I'm like, now I got to do the ad part.
Make
So
your
just
own
give
ad.
I did. No, I did for one of them, but it's work. Here comes an ad break.
All right, this is a quick little ad break. Just wanted to say thank you for listening to our Young Talk podcast so far. If you aren't aware, we are available on both Spotify and YouTube primarily, but we are also available on iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't be following us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and stay up to date, because each episode we're only going to get crazier. We only get better. So hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on all these insane moments. And hey, if you're listening on Spotify, then that's fine too. But I recommend, I'm not going to tell you what to do because you could do whatever you want. But hey, Spotify is a great choice. I think it's pretty ideal if you're on the move, right? This isn't sponsored by YouTube or Spotify, by the way. But if you're listening on Spotify, thank you. And hey, the YouTube version, you get the videos. You get to see what we see. So if you're not following us on YouTube or on Spotify, do that. Otherwise, what are you doing? Don't be that person that listens but doesn't follow or subscribe. So it's a 2-second process. Just hit the subscribe button. You'll get a notification whenever an episode comes out. Because if you haven't noticed, we aren't very consistent when getting these episodes out. So don't miss your chance to see an epic episode. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, Young Talk Podcast. Pretty easy. Links will be in the description. Links are always in the description. If I miss one, hey, tell me I'm kind of sus, and I'll add it. But yeah, let's get back to the episode.
There you go. That's the ad break. Enjoy it.
I hope you love it.
Yeah, for this one, there's 25 rules that they talk about that Disney stars have to follow. And I think they're kind of crazy. I don't want to look at all the rules.
I don't know why I'm thinking that. I'm thinking of that one episode of South Park with the Jonas Brothers and how they have to follow guidelines from Mickey Mouse.
The rules are because Disney Channel has big money.
They own like half the planet.
But they've had big money always, it would seem. Even before now, they had money on a level to where you had 100% control over everybody who was involved in Disney, every actor. Like I remember I read, or one of these parts, they talk about Miley Cyrus and how jam-packed her schedule was, because these children, right? They still have to act and all this, but they still have to go to school. And there would be times where they say she would just get completely drained or even depressed, or even because of the amount of hours she had to put into her day, between doing all this shit. And I was like, holy crap. Being a Disney star, you get all this crazy shit. The men could not shave or cannot grow mustaches or beards. The males on the show, and you don't think about this until you start looking at them. You're like, holy shit, you're right. Why is Joe Jonas not growing a beard for like this past 7 years he's been alive? And it's all because they have to keep these images that they have. Like Bella Thorne, which I feel like this is why you see all these products. Yeah, it's like I feel like this is why you see all of them come out with all these crazy shit, or they all go down. Some of these people go down these weird holes. Is because they spend so much of their time from being like 10 or 9 to 17, stuck being 10 or 9, for a decade. They aren't allowed to actually be adults, and once they start doing things that are adult,
sense.
they have to quit. But it gets to the point to where it's unhealthy the way they do it. They go about it,
Like look at how Miley Cyrus did, like when she like got off Disney.
I mean, but I don't blame. Now it's like now that after I see these type of stuff, it's like I don't blame them. I don't blame. Like it's like, well, it's like when you're super good at everything, right? Like you go to school, you study, you do all this hard work because you believe that's the good thing to do. That's the thing you're supposed to do. And then you become an adult and you realize none of that shit really matters. You spent your entire childhood going the straight and narrow path when you could have taken a small risk. You could have just went and hung out with your friends one time, skipped a class, and you would have been all right. You missed out on these opportunities, So they act out, and then they get older, and they don't know how to.
Stolen your dad's beer.
Yeah, small shit, but that's what happened with Mitchell Musso, in my opinion. He got a DUI while he was on the show, so he got kicked off the show. And
before they kicked him.
Yeah, he had a DUI and some. I don't know if it was also drugs or whatever, but I know the DUI was a big thing. And that's why they took him out. But I'm like, I get it, bro. Like, because you have to be damn near picture. You have to literally be perfect because,
like, the moment you get canceled on Twitter, that they're cutting you out.
Basically, it's like when you think about how big these kids are. Like, think about how many people watch Disney Channel growing up. How many people watched Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, all these shows, right? Like, you can't do things. You can't do anything outside of the show because you have this massive image to uphold, which is ridiculous. Billy Ray Cyrus. Yeah, and I don't know what happened to Billy Ray Cyrus. I feel like he was a role model, and then he just fell.
He slowly came back. He slowly came back with that
that one song.
Yes.
I don't want to look at this whole video because it's like it's so many parts. Here
you're
we
kind
go.
of summarizing it for us.
Yeah, and then so like they had all these intensive classes on how to do autographs, on how to look out for scandals, and this whole morality clause, and all this wild shit. Like, and at first I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, if you have children on a show and being exposed to all this stuff, you need them to know what they are going to potentially be aware of on social media. They have to learn about what scandals are, how to avoid them, but it's a lot of pressure to put on preteens, in my opinion. Like, it gets to a point to where maybe there could have been something done to prevent this level of exposure. Like, I don't know, maybe just stop showing Disney as much as they did. It's hard to gauge whether or not the way Disney went about doing their contracts or go about doing them works, because how do you protect people of a multi-billion-dollar company? How do you protect children from that whole situation? Like, you can't let them live their lives normally, and you can't overprotect them. And one of the biggest things I found that is now my celebrity crush is Zendaya, bro. Like,
why?
Dude, she is literally the best person I have ever seen.
There's a reason why I'm just not going to say it.
Why? What's wrong with Zendaya, bro? What's wrong with Zendaya?
I know what you mean.
I'm not trying to get canceled, but it's funny.
The whole point of this episode is to expose kids shows and kids celebrities. So by you not saying that, that defeats the whole point of the show. So you might as well say it now.
I'm like,
expose them, kids.
Rodrigo, you do the honor.
No, I'm not saying anything.
All right, David, you could say it.
I don't know what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You know what?
there's no
You
point in
know,
bringing it up
I
if we're not
heard
gonna-
you chuckling. I heard you chuckling. I know what you know what I meant.
I have no idea.
The whole I'm gonna look it up. Either
Anyways.
way. Okay. Well, I mean,
all right, I'll say it. I'll say it
because it might be a waste of a whole conversation.
Skin tone.
Yeah, I literally just said race related.
That's why you like her, but that was just a joke.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Okay.
Just a prank.
That was a dumb. That was the longest joke. You could have just said because she's black, like, and we could have moved forward.
We apologize.
But I'm not trying to like get canceled.
It's too late.
We apologize.
Actress from that one show.
She's from Shake Up, yeah.
No, not
Man,
just
she's in
Spider-Man.
Euphoria right now.
Euphoria, yeah. I want to check that show out too. So apparently,
Spider-Man.
Not attractive. I don't care.
So apparently, one, she's from Oakland. I didn't know that, or she went to school in Oakland, Oakland School of the Arts. I was like, holy shit, from the Bay Area, shout out. And I think, the way she stepped into the role was interesting because she talks
Wasn't there
about.
like wasn't there a thing that she hated Belle, like she and Belle Thorne hated each other?
They didn't hate. Here's the thing. I don't think they
Or, like, they
necessarily
disliked
hated
each
each other.
other.
They had animosity and it's the other fucking word. They had tension, but it wasn't like because they just didn't click. It was mainly just because of how the network made them go against each other. Which, I feel like it works to a certain extent if the characters on the show are supposed to clash, but it doesn't work if the characters outside the show are clashing because of what you're doing. Like they would intentionally do things to put them at odds or make them compare each other to another. And they talked about it. They both talked about this on air, and they cleared the air about it. And now they're fine. There's no reason. They have no hate towards each other. But that's just that. This happens throughout Disney all the time. It happened with Hannah Montana. It happened. I forget. It's so many shows. Like literally, there's a whole video on it. About the co-star disputes and fights. There was one with Debbie Ryan and like the child, the little black child from Jessie, Sky
Dakota
Jackson,
Sky.
I believe, or no?
She's a villain. That's what she is.
I think it is Sky Jackson, actually. I think it's
Yeah, like they even had a little internet debacle that wasn't only recently officially settled, like, but they're fine. Like it happens a lot in Disney for some reason, specifically because of the way they market their characters. But what Zendaya did, I think, throughout the show, and she pointed a light that you really can't do anything outside of Disney without Disney's approval. None of the characters on a Disney show could do anything outside of Disney without their approval. They couldn't do things that were PG 13 without Disney approving it. And following all these rules within this little video where they couldn't have certain exposed skin or it'd be threat of losing their job, where they couldn't write certain songs that were suggestive, even though like people like Joe Jonas, he played an 18-year-old or whatever, but he was 20 years old in reality. Things like Vanessa Hudgens leaked photos, where it's like, it's not even that big of a deal. It shouldn't be because she was of age when she screened High School Musical. She was above 18. So I think it's a little bit wild to see what happens because Zendaya talks about all these things, and then
because Disney likes to control everything.
Well, yeah, they love to control that, like literally,
like not just Disney show, but just in general.
Yeah, they wanted to control so many things, and I think the thing that made it a huge difference was Zendaya's choice to want to audition for Spider-Man. She did that, but before she did that, she was advocating to Disney and the company that they needed to put more diversity in the network, because I guess at the time, when you don't think about it, but there's a lot of white people on Disney Channel, and she felt like as a person of color, you look at the screen, you're not seeing people that look like you and all that. So it's like she wanted to promote that, and then she does other Disney stuff, other shows and movies on Disney Channel outside
What's
of
their
Shake It Up.
demographic though?
Yeah, I
Those
don't
are
know what the
people that
demographic
watch
is.
Disney.
I watch the hell out of Disney, but I know my sisters, my cousins, like my family, we were all Disney, Nickelodeon type. We didn't watch Cartoon Network like that. It was Nickelodeon and
Losers.
Disney.
Loser.
I mean, we watched it, but it wasn't as crazy as watching, live
Cartoon
action
Network
shit.
scared me as a kid, bro. It had Adult Swim.
You're
Just
saying you didn't
Yo,
watch
Adult Swim.
the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Not as much as SpongeBob.
Yeah, not
Not
as
as
much.
much
Yo,
as
Billy and
Tick-
Mandy was great.
It wasn't
I
like
like-
it's not like they were bad shows. I
I like Tick Patowski.
But then when Flapjack and
That was his
Chowder
next
came
scene.
out,
I don't know. Channel
switched.
53, Channel 55, those are my channels. Those are the ones.
I think mine was in the 60s.
Mine were in the
So
40s.
52 had Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
I still haven't seen season 5.
But
I'm sorry.
It's sad.
but yeah. No, she,
Wait,
she
what?
advocated for all this shit. He said he never saw Samurai Jack.
No, season 5.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
it was
she-
sad.
just
Oh,
skip back.
yeah,
oops.
I don't want to play this video. She advocated for all this shit and change, and so you'll notice that like after she left Shake It Up, I believe there was a show that she was on, that she helped you have creative control over, and making sure it does talk about or it does shed light on Black families or people of color more often. And part of the reason, and I find it personally kind of crazy because I feel like without someone like Zendaya even saying that, the way Disney shows come out now wouldn't be the way they are.
Hold on. Hold on.
Here comes the Reddit. No, I'm kidding.
Secrets behind TikTok fame.
There's always
There's
secrets
no
behind-
such thing.
It's TikTok. It's just
It's
toxic.
literally TikTok.
It's just toxic.
Anyways.
All right, I just want to shed
Oh,
some
you
this
light
just
on
one, I
that.
didn't see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just TikTok. That shit's just toxic. But I
that
mean,
is we need
she-
to take that. We need to take that trash out.
yeah, but she did actively work to change the way Disney promoted itself, or at least portrayed itself on TV. And she didn't have to do that. Ironically, she didn't have to do that when she joined Marvel, the cast of Marvel and all that, because apparently Marvel was already on top of it. They were in the same mindset of her of diversity, which is why they did cast her.
I'm not
for part of the
100%
reason.
sure. I'm
Mhm.
not 100% sure on this, but I've heard that like Phase 1, like apparently one of like the executive producers, like what wasn't really. I don't think he really advocated for diversity, which is why we never got like a Black Widow movie in the beginning.
Who?
Like a producers, I don't know. That's why I'm not 100% sure.
Okay,
So don't
everyone
quote
slow
me on
down.
it.
I gotta
Yeah,
take
don't-
off.
Stop calling me on that.
I gotta take off. But this has been great. I'm gonna see you guys next week. Big Dark Daddy Dark
Oh,
out.
that ends part 1.
You say bye to me.
I'm kidding.
Good riddance,
cool.
dude.
It's all good. But yeah, she
But-
advocated for the shit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree. Marvel was on top of it by like, yeah, Phase 2.
So I mean, that's why I'm like, she's my personal crush now. Just because it, I mean, one, it sounds the way she went about her career within Disney. Like when you read, like you can check this whole video out. I'm not gonna watch all these videos just because we don't have the time. But like,
I mean, we
these-
do. We just don't want to.
No, that's why I put the links there for you to watch them on your own time. But you know, it's like you get people that come from places like the Bay Area and LA and SoCal where we do have diversity, and then you get. She didn't think she had a voice, you know, prior to coming to Disney, and it wasn't until she saw what was going on where she was like, maybe I do have a voice and I need to speak up. And luckily, you know, they did listen and they did make small changes. It wasn't amazing. Like Disney Channel isn't filled with Black people or Hispanic people or anything like that, but there are small changes. Like there is now a Black sitcom on Disney Channel that wasn't there, or that probably wouldn't have been there if she didn't advocate for it, you know?
When did
So-
Princess and the Frog come out?
Princess and the
Wait, what
Frog.
about Prince of Bel Air, dude?
The Princess-
First Princess, that was a
Was that
90s
not
show. That
Disney?
wasn't even Disney.
That wasn't even
Yeah,
Disney.
My bad.
Yeah, Will Smith, he was a true advocate. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. There's really some crazy shit with her story. There's some crazy shit with Debbie Ryan.
Apparently she's not a. Apparently she's a bad person.
I don't think she is. I think she's just.
Apparently.
She was in a.
That's
yeah.
some rumor I've heard.
She was in a really weird situation. I think.
I remember when she got arrested.
I didn't know about the arrest, but I know that on her time on Disney, there was there was pressure to even do acting prior to her being acting because she had a speech impediment before she took classes to improve her speech. But I'm like, when you look at some of these people and then you like start thinking about the careers they led, like I don't look at Miley Cyrus in the same way as I did when Wrecking Ball came out and all that anymore. Just because, yeah, sure, it was a mistake. But at the same time, it's like when you see shit like this, which girl is more beautiful, Rocky Blue versus CC Jones, actual things that were put out in the in media for people to rate and shit. It's like I get it. They get manipulated and they get into this state of mind where they lose their own sense of self. And Selena Gomez talks about that too. Being on Wizards of Waverly Place, she felt like she was losing herself to Disney and to the show. And so I was like, this shit's wild. Like, you don't think about the toll it is of being a childhood actor, or it's like I like to look at certain shit like the dude from Home Alone, right? Kind of fell off.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, like he fell off, but it's like you never know what's happening behind the scenes.
He's been on like a redemption arc.
I would hope so.
For a while.
Who?
That's like Brendan
Macaulay
Fraser.
Culkin.
Who's that?
The kid from Home Alone.
The kid from Home Alone.
Who's that?
The Disney Channel star rulebook. Hold on, let me see what this part is.
Zendaya made waves as Rocky Blue on Shake It Up. She was already well versed on what it meant to be in the public eye. Still, there are plenty of rules when it comes to joining the Disney Channel family, and they are not always easy.
Damn, they look so young right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even just Disney.
But they're probably like 21.
For any actor.
Yeah, it's not only Disney though.
No, yeah,
Just
it's
being an
everywhere.
actor,
It's
you have a lot of-
other networks.
No, not even networks. Just being an actor. You have a
You
lot
mean
of
like
rules.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Because like there's a lot of things you just can't do because like it would ruin your career.
Exactly.
That aren't
You're
necessarily
like one
wrong
Twitter
either.
post away from ruining your career.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's-
she got backlash for being on Euphoria and
Like
all
getting
this
canceled,
run-up
dude, that's
shit.
the
Did she?
Yeah, people did not really enjoy her being on Euphoria because it was just, here's the part where they talk about it for a moment.
To choose her own clothes, and she quickly became a staple in the fashion industry. Better yet, she was finally free to audition for more mature roles. And like most Disney Channel stars, Zendaya chose to pursue a darker role to show her fans that she was far more from one-dimensional. She made the decision to take on more mature projects, and soon, Zendaya was cast as Rue Bennett in HBO's Euphoria. But instead of being happy for her, Zendaya's former Disney Channel fans attacked her online and judged her for appearing in a more mature program.
I promise you I can do that a lot better than you
But
can.
why?
Instead of
Right.
adding fuel to the fire, Zendaya remained professional and reminded fans that it's important not to judge any other person's career or trajectory. Zendaya also sat down with Vogue Australia to remind people that growing up in front of the world isn't always easy. She urged fans to remember that everyone has their own path.
I think
So, which I think is cool. The biggest thing to take away, or at least to think about, is like, you notice how her hair is straight on the show? Hair is not straight in reality, bro. It's curly. But she had to keep her hair straight, according to Disney, which is, in my opinion, it gets into this thing about how
That's like a whole other thing that
No,
people
that's
mention.
racist.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
where I'm like,
That's like a whole.
it gets into this whole thing about like just also the way they had to dress, during the show.
Oh, green face.
Racist gets Green Goblin.
Racism, bro. No green face on here. But they talk about this a lot with so many of the cast where the way they dress all like in public would be so different than the way that you're used to seeing them because they weren't allowed to dress a certain way until they're out of Disney. And I think that shit's so wild. They literally cannot be their own person until they're on.
Like I
under
said, it's
Disney.
like that episode of South Park where Mickey Mouse was like in control of the Jonas Brothers.
I mean, yeah, I think the
Like-
Jonas Brothers.
Because
Mhm.
because that whole episode was pretty much about how Disney's like controlling of everything.
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like the longer you're with Disney, the worse it is. Like I feel like the Jonas Brothers were with Disney for a while. You know, like a while.
I think one of the recent episodes of South Park had a thing where like Disney apparently owned the cure for COVID or something.
Probably, bro. Probably. I
haven't watched South Park in a while.
I don't know. I have never seen like a full much of South Park. Maybe like 2 seconds. But
I don't blame you for not watching it.
I just never. It was on Comedy Central. I never went past like Channel 55 growing up, so it didn't matter.
Did you get yelled at?
No, I just only cared about Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. But I mean, it's really wild to know this is the type of thing going on behind the shows that we hold near and dear to our nostalgia. Because I mean, for us it's fun, but for them it's like there could be so much happening. And I remember she talked about being on Shake It Up and how intense that was because they learned choreographies at one point and then learn it in the morning for 2 hours and then have to go and then do this and then have to go and learn and do this and then do that and that. And it's a lot. And even like based on my experience of being on a set and dealing with actors,
there's a lot.
It's not as much as Disney puts on them. It's not. Because as an actor, it very much depends. Like when you think about the kids on Disney Channel, they sing, they dance, they're multi-talented. So it's always going to be a lot because that's the only people they look for. Every Disney fucking sings their ass all the time. So they hire people who are multi-talented and it makes the process a lot more challenging. Like I don't think if you were like, let's say you take all the singing and shit out of Disney, these actors probably wouldn't go through as much as they went through just because that adds a whole new factor into it. You not only got to memorize lines, you now got to memorize a whole new dance every week and then still got to go to school and still pass and then still dress a certain way and then make sure you're not exposed on social media. You know, like it's a lot of pressure to put on preteens. It's a lot of pressure. So I was telling my friend, I was like, I hope I work for Disney or one of these network shows so I can really see what it's like just to see if what, we're seeing, because this could all just be conjecture or propaganda or whatever word you want to put there for like crazy shit,
Wait till you delve deep into like the gaming industry.
I don't even trust the gaming industry sometimes.
That's a whole other topic.
I feel like it really is. Like I've never looked into the gaming industry itself, but I already know it's crazy.
That's why you unionize or stay indie.
But I mean, we'll say that one.
That's like a whole other can of worms.
So let me see, because those were the main things I want to talk about when it came to Disney, to be honest. Like I looked at, there's a lot. If you don't know much about Disney and the behind the scenes shit with some of the actors, think about your favorite show that you watched growing up. Whether it's Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, That's So Raven.
It's kind of late to bring up, but I've never watched Disney or Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it's a little late.
It's pretty late to mention this, but I've never watched Disney or Nickelodeon, with the exception of some SpongeBob episodes.
I mean, I
recommend. Okay, but did you watch Cartoon Network?
Not even done. I just never had like network TV.
Yeah.
I would have to watch.
Yeah, Cubo.
Cubo, and what was it?
So like all you watch was like Veggie Tales and all you watch was like Veggie Tales and Archie.
Bible Man.
Oh no. Man. You really got the low budget stuff.
We gotta talk about religion. We gotta watch religious shows another day, another time.
It's such a rabbit hole, which is why I want this to be a 2-parter episode, because there's just so much shit, and I had to jump between so many different things to find
Cat in the Hat?
The most evil movie ever made.
They're not wrong.
We could look at this video because I haven't seen it. We could either look at this entire video, and that will be pretty much the rest of the podcast, the last thing, or we can look at Teletubbies.
No, the Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
But I want to see Teletubby.
I kind of want to see this Cat in the Hat one too, because I already know what I'm getting with Teletubbies. I don't know what I'm getting with Cat in the Hat. So we'll check this out, and then we'll give thoughts on this, and this will be the end. Part 2, we'll get into Teletubbies and why birds aren't real.
Decided to finally digest the entirety of a well-known horror film known as
What
The
happened to
Cat
Mike
in the
Myers'
Hat.
face?
From what I've heard, this
Hey,
deranged film was mistaken.
we're not gonna shit on Mike. This is the greatest movie ever created.
No. The thumbnail. It was the thumbnail, not this movie.
This very day. I'm going to recap exactly what happens here, and then I will explain
this movie is the greatest thing ever made,
and why it has done what it has done to whom it has done
scared.
it to.
Next to Scooby-Doo the movie.
What is this?
It's a theory. None of us have seen this, so.
Hello, I'm the theorizer, and I'm gonna write this as I watch. This is in fact a sort of reaction / theory / recap / review.
Oh shit.
Because that format works best for content
/ retrospective /
This movie seems to begin with a rhythmic narration as we zoom into a small town named Anvil.
I feel like this is
which
gonna
appears to
traumatize
be
me.
situated in a biome not dissimilar to the Switch.
How long is this?
Blah 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 blah. This is when the horror begins.
20 minutes.
The entire town is immediately shown to be fake.
This is the last
possibly
thing.
demented narrator explains the sorts of comings and goings of this town. A real estate agent named Joan works out of a horribly designed building with bathrooms containing signs like "Employees must constantly wash hands." It's my immediate impression that this town and everyone inside of it is strange and not real. Almost like some sort of fake world, or maybe a bizarre experimental utopian test run.
What the fuck?
Everything looks to be almost cardboard,
Or the world of
something
Dr.
like an
Seuss.
alternate future diverging
Right?
from a much more intense 1950s. The head real estate agent barely shakes another man's hand and freaks out, fires him, and sanitizes. It's like he's paranoid about an unspoken disease afflicting this little isolated population. It's like he is. I'm not saying by any means
for
that
COVID.
that's the case. He fires anyone who isn't perfectly clean or perfectly perfect at all,
Oof.
really. It's not OCD, it's most certainly
sounds
a
like the
rigorous
worst
system
HOA
designed
manager.
to create a perfect
What if I told you
isolated
that's me in the
world,
picture?
and the world is
What?
very surreal. But the film stars Joan's children, Order and Chaos, portrayed by none other than Coraline and Curtis the
I'm
Elf,
scared of where this is gonna
respectively.
go.
Order in particular is quite obsessive, and Chaos is quite chaotic. I would expect nothing less. It seems as though Chaos is depicted here as a male and Order as a female, contrary to the Taoist symbolism, which is otherwise quite present. Order is a fixated little thing who writes up her own will and plans graduate schooling. Self-aware irony is the central theme of this terrifying experience,
Create
which
lasting
makes its
childhood.
intentions even more dubious. Is it possible that this is a comedy in disguise? Chaos destroys its environment to the chagrin of Joan the caretaker, and in comes, no joke, the boss baby. What an all-star cast. That's a preemptive reference. Coraline in particular here seems to know a thing or two
Boss
about the real
Baby?
world's constitutional monarchies, suggesting that this universe does indeed have real locations outside of this town. They even show a military academy 8 hours away that looks fairly realistic, and thus this is a fake utopia, not an entirely surrealist Earth. It's just this town. So
far,
Boss
this
Baby
doesn't feel
hates
like it's an
Taoism.
evil movie
Surprise,
yet.
Surprise, Order has a superiority complex, and in other news, the sky
Because-
is blue. The caretaker of Taoism
What the
summons chaos in front of Order, which impregnates reality and summons Austin Powers.
He's
Yes,
coming.
Mike Myers himself plays the Cat in the Hat, hence my referential Shrekening. Smash Mouth.
Why do
runs
people
the
not know that he
thing
literally
about
sounds
that
like
in a
them?
minute.
Like he uses
Feeling
his
bad, the
voice.
caretaker Joan puts in
I mean,
charge
I
what
didn't
might
know
best be
until I was old
described as
enough
a
to know
liberal
actors.
Edna mode. We see them watching TV, which contains more proof of a real Earth outside of this controlled experiment. More proof
Because
of
he
this
looks like a
is
cat
the
in
clouds
this
that
film.
instantly rush in. But now back to the results of this fight between Joan and her son. Order and Chaos meet basically Austin Powers dressed as a cat, and it's the most horrifying thing imaginable. It's completely out of place and likely the main purpose of whatever sort of
Honestly,
experiment
the
is going
movie's
on
pretty
here.
good.
He is
Like,
ironically
right?
extremely aware of
It's
the
on par with
environment he's in.
Scooby-Doo the movie.
Question
Yeah.
instantly must
Yeah,
be
it's
asked,
unironically
is
very
this the
funny.
father of the two children dressed up? I say this because it's creepy and it
We gotta
feels
talk
like it
about
almost
Scooby-Doo
makes
the
sense, and
movie.
because the boss baby Alec Baldwin is not their dad, but their dad was already mentioned,
The first
maybe they
time.
moved here to get away from him. At this point, it's getting creepy enough on its own without my symbolic embellishment, so I'm going to refer to the film's elements by their given terms from here on out. I'm too dazed and confused writing this, and I'm actually blurring the lines for myself. so I have to stop it. The cat says he drove here from his place and that he's lactose intolerant. Okay, but the strange part is that he causes weird voices
Is
and
he their
music and
dad?
metaphysical manifestations to appear, which seems to be counterintuitive to
No,
the
he's a
idea that
cat.
he's Sally and Conrad's father. If he is their dad,
Doesn't change the question.
he should be human just like them. He's basically using magic, so this is where I start to question what is or is not their imagination and what is causing it all. Assuming it is some sort of experiment or beta utopia
Where's the sequel to
that
this
could
movie?
be a part of it. A
There is no
population
sequel.
controlling hallucinogenics.
Exactly.
But I
There's
continue
a
to be
Because it literally
inclined to say
ends
that this is their
when it
father
ends.
trying to spend time
It's
with
too
them,
good for a
sort of like a
sequel.
Mrs. Doubtfire
You're right.
scenario, because the next thing the cat does is steal a picture of their mother that arouses him.
Yeah,
I'm
was
certainly
it
not the
Cat
first
in the
to
Hat is all
suggest
about
this
that?
father idea about any rendition of the Cat in the Hat.
Wait,
This
whoa.
seems to be an almost
It's a
commonplace
cartoon.
idea.
No,
but
it's all
let's see just how much
I
proof
never
can
saw the
be dug
cartoon.
up here.
What
He
about
calls
the
the
puppet
cat
show?
a train
recent.
wreck as if he's had a hand in them in the
Well, not
past.
recent,
I'm
but
more
it would've
tempted to
been,
say that this man is there of his own
past,
volition as opposed to
the
being
Cat in the
brought
Hat
into
knows
the
all
world
about
for
that.
entertainment because he actually
Yeah.
knows how to make Sally laugh already. He jumps on the
Whoa, is
babysitter
this
and
really
shoves
saying
her
he's
in
her
the
dad?
closet, which does mean he's there to watch over them. There's also evidence that Sally is
Bro,
at
he's
a
hanging
breaking
her.
point because the cat implies she's one bad day away from arson. He also immediately knows
committed
that
murder.
Conrad Wicks is
I
dead.
gotta
and knows
rewatch this
everything
movie
about
now.
their personalities. Also, I'm mildly
Honestly,
delirious.
I think the cat
doing
has
this whole
serial
thing
killer.
running pitifully low on iron.
A serial
And it's
killer
Well, he does
hard for me
cut
to
off
see this
tail
film
off
differently,
another-
so we're gonna roll
another
with it.
cat.
Apparently, the only cure for the kids' polar personalities is either
he almost
painful
kills the kid with the
injections or
bat.
a musical
They-
number.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
hinting that this is some sort of
They
strange
didn't
test.
stop him.
The cat throws Sally
So
at the
say
couch.
he's a
The
serial
cat
killer
also vomits a
pedophile.
massive ball of hair, which is grotesque and evidential of dangerous method acting. Then we see what in the name of CGI is that. So now I'm dead certain.
Forgot
that
about
this
Is he
is
just like
hallucinating.
shitting on
I don't
theory,
know what happened
people?
here, but we have solid proof
Yeah, I
that
think
this
it's
isolated
parody.
town is not
That's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
Is
That's what
it?
I'm getting.
world, so
That's
this
what
is
I'm getting.
certainly some
I
sort
thought it
of
was
Yeah.
a genuine thing about him being evil.
Well, keep watching.
I feel like it's
No,
part actual theory and part.
It's a
parody.
theorized. The cat
No, I
has.
don't think it's a theory. I think it's just been
Let me see.
changed to,
Here's a comment.
I
or
think
the
it's an
description.
actual theory, but he's just.
The cat in the hat.
It says, and in the process, unintentionally unraveled a thick and trippy lore for itself, which I've taken up the task of dissecting.
Okay, so
It took inappropriates to new heights, so that's the theory. It's inappropriate. The video itself has
the theorizer has finally been claimed by his own insanity.
3 weeks ago, edited. I mean, so maybe there's something here. I don't know. I'm scared. Should I press it?
Do it.
It's up to you.
I sleep alone.
Test involving hallucinogenics.
I do
Sally
too.
and Conrad maintain their sanity. This is all visual
This is terrible.
Oh,
alteration.
there's someone there to
Who
comfort me.
is this dressed
let's
up
sleep on
man,
this
and
Discord call
is
so we don't
he
sleep
a
on it.
test? Is he their father, or is he something? Well, I don't want to say it in a YouTube video, but this whole scenario reeks of being extremely disturbing in a very real sense. And
What?
the babysitter was probably anesthetized too. The cat sings a song about neutering kittens, which gives him post-traumatic flashbacks, implying something severe happened to this man in his childhood. This is further evidence for him being part of the experiment, for him being their father, and yes, also for him being damaged and, well, at risk of demonetization to discuss. So, what if he's all three? A twisted father who's come back to kidnap his children, and worse, all as an attempt to get back at his ex-wife and her possibly even worse new love interest? Again, this could be seen as extreme, but also rather obvious, so let's keep digging.
This is crazy.
The hallucinated fish acts as an
You guys got
orderly
me
foil to the chaotic cat, reintroducing Taoism extremes to dull the severity of the kids' personalities. The cat spawns a portal to a bullfighting ring, but again, all an experiment. The fish references MTV and calls out this insane film for what it is. Maybe the fish is their dad. I think he might be from the cat's domain, whatever trip that might be like. The cat also knows about their homework and such. It's clear, though, why their mother, the orderly woman, divorced this immature madman. Then the cat makes them sign a contract with lawyers present, implying that this is a waiver of some sort for fun, and yes, we see some of it. Oh, this is perfect. It'll give us answers to what the hell
like right
they're
next to
signing
his
over
crotch.
and what this cat is. From what I can read, It seems to take place in northwest Montana, and the cat is a paid performance actor. We also see a birth certificate which puts the cat's birthday as Mike Myers' birthday, which would make it
Oh my God!
No. Wait, is this for real?
Almost right on
Yeah,
target
but
with
here's
the
the
mother,
thing. Have you ever
Kelly
seen The Cat in
Preston's
the Hat and
image.
Mike Myers in
The
the
rest
same
of the
place
contract
together?
is mostly obscured legal word vomit. The cat seems to be self-employed then. Once they sign, the cat starts going full-on crazy and destroys the house with radically
Tell me why I'm
inappropriate
looking
behavior.
behind me and
The
shit.
spawning of random animals and stuff is most likely the product of
I'm right there.
hallucinogens. He has this
Cat
creepy,
Matt
weird
just
laugh
standing
when he
behind me.
closes his nostrils. Sounds kind of like. I also think it may be possible that
The cat in the hat is, like,
Conrad's
right behind you
conscience
with
is
the
the
bat.
cat and Sally's is the fish.
You just feel
or
a gloved
vice
hand
versa.
on
We'll
your
see.
shoulder.
Things get really off the rails here. Physics break, so on, but it's all a
What
part of the children's insanity. The fish does act like an inner voice to her, and even shows her a flashback that isn't her own, which is more suspicious. Perhaps it's an experiment testing controlled hallucinations, which is extremely disturbing, and thought implantation, blah 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 blah. The cat talks about drunk clowns with hepatitis. Alec Baldwin enters again, and the cat vanishes, implying it's a vision, maybe? Well, Baldwin is allergic to cats and starts sneezing, so the cat is clearly just hiding, but real. His suit must be made of real cat hair. Or maybe Alec Baldwin is all a part of the experiment, as I guess expected at this point. This is where the satire goes off the rails and the cat even duplicates himself, possibly implying the hallucinogens are causing a
I'm
time
really
distortion
watching this
effect
movie.
where the kids are seeing double. The ironic humor is disturbing though, and one cat threatens to kill another and make it look like an accident. The cat's also
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Their hands
I'll
upside
get you.
down. He
It'll
falls
be
into
look
the
like a
cat
bloody
wrong
accident.
suited and ugly like its mother. This is most likely another reference to his ex-wife, the kid's mother. He chops off his tail and screams, "Son of a bitch." No joke, nearly as lightly censored as I just did. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just figured it out.
Oh.
He's got some. He's opening his third eye.
Oh my god, I figured it out.
Is this where
Oh my god.
unravels?
Pause everything. This is fake. Oh my god. It's an
Wait,
act.
so the Cat in the Hat never happened?
It's an act.
It never happened?
Oh my god.
It's a movie.
Oh my god. It's an act. I should probably break from my script for this part. It makes
he has
total
Target on his hat.
sense. This is
Wait.
This is all a movie. Or more
I
likely a
just said
play.
that.
Oh god.
No, wait.
you
I think I know. No.
understand?
I know what he's saying. Not like as in The Cat in the Hat is a movie, but the entire construct within the world is like, it's like that Jim Carrey movie, basically, where he's playing a character on a TV thing, but he doesn't know he's a character. I forgot what it's called. The Truman Show. Yeah. I think that's what he's saying. That's why he cracked it. Cause now I'm thinking about it, and yeah, he killed himself, but they were pretending to be on a cooking show. This is all it's the entire thing. The entire thing. Just wait. Me and this dude is on the same
like
page.
your mind was
Let's keep
blown.
listening. Let's keep listening then.
I barely do. I told you I'm writing this while dazed and confused. For God's sake, I spent a month on this because my iron was so low. I needed a damn blood transfusion. I need to revisit this when I'm more lucid in the future. But what I do know is that this, people, this is huge. It's a movie. It's a movie. This is a movie. In universe. It's a movie in universe. These kids are actors in universe. This cat is the star of a show on a set. It's a set, literally, in front of an audience. It's not some inconsistent experiment.
Filmed in front of a
It's
live
stage
studio
play.
audience.
We are watching a movie of a live play. Or a movie of a movie, I'm still not sure. The reason I say this is because of the absurd number of fourth wall breaks and lapses in logic. It feels almost perfectly like a stage play, but it is being filmed.
I get it.
My whole basis for this was when the cat is talking to these two kids about a lawsuit, and then the camera zooms up on him and he says they'll talk later. This was an intermission. There was an intermission after he chopped off his tail. This is an elaborate stand-up comedy act. Perhaps some sort of audience test viewing, and it's about a disturbed cat that meets two kids and livens up their day. The audience is watching and there's a camera filming it all.
Did you open your
third
eye?
Or whatever.
I
The
get
cat keeps breaking the fourth wall and talking to an audience literally there somewhere. I don't know where. That's the whole point. The cameras don't focus on what's behind them. It's a dimension we don't see upon viewing. That's what the fourth wall is. They even mock this and create a sixth fucking wall during the cooking show segment.
Laugh.
Now, as for the in-universe, I can still theorize on the intricacies of this play.
This is where he goes into his third eye.
Creepy father in disguise. Luckily, all of the surreal sets and lapses in logic and the subtle realism of the cat are all now explained under the fact that there is a secret lens we're looking through, an invisible fifth wall, an in-universe audience we can't see, a play written by fictional writers who are most certainly truly deranged. If it is a stand-up act, then it means this is all written by the guy playing the cat, which makes utterly perfect sense in every conceivable way. Oh, good lord, I have to keep watching this movie. The in-universe universe is important too, you see. Gives insight into this actor. The cat is incorrect in every way, socially, politically, logically, physically, supernaturally. He says his wife's dress was ruined when she bought it. Yes, this is because he references her like a wife. I do wonder if the cat is their dad in real life too, like a family of actors. Of course, when I say real life, I don't mean real life, but the fact that I have to make that
But in real
distinction
life,
like I'm
I know what he
watching
means.
Inception or some shit is unbelievable in itself.
He's incepting
You know
this
what
movie right
means,
now.
though, right? Considering the writers are fictional, it almost gives me free rein to fill in their canon. I'm inclined to say that they actually did set out to create a play about order and chaos in human forms. The cat says, Thing 1, Conrad, Conrad, Sally, Thing 2, Sally, Conrad, I am the cat. They say Thing 2's name alternatively is Ben. Perhaps that's his actor's name. The things are manifestations of chaotic children. The child actors are smart too. Conrad points out how Cat's crazy dimensional magic is branded with a friggin' made in Philippines. Thing 1 and Thing 2 go off on the house and—
Oh, he's from a sweatshop.
It's a set. Look, it's a set.
It's a movie
Let me
in
get
a
really
movie.
real for a second. Only a second. When it comes to the humor in this movie, I don't even know how this film exists.
This film...
Like, when I analyze things such as All Hail King Julian, obviously it's weird and inappropriate and whatever.
It's not
but
above
it
Shrek, is it?
As for kids in some way. This
What do you mean?
movie is
As far as tier
so
that's the
incredibly,
thing. We're going to pause this for a quick
blatantly,
second.
hilariously—
Something I really want to do is make a tier list, because I've been seeing so many tier lists, but I want to make one. Like, I feel like we should make a tier list. This movie, it's not above Shrek, is it? I feel
It's
like
up there with Scooby-Doo the movie.
but is that higher than Shrek? I feel like Shrek is top.
That
is ultimate.
You're asking too many hard questions.
But that's what I'm saying. We should make a tier list of these movies.
You're asking too many questions.
Yeah.
Oh, Sway just
They're
pops
gonna
up, snaps my neck.
No, Cat in the Hat's coming after you.
Oh, bro, we got to make a tier list of these movies. I think we'll learn some shit. This is a movie and a movie and a movie.
Not for kids. The cat stares down their pet dog with a garden hoe and says, "Time to die," in Mike Myers' Dr. Evil accent. It's so random and jarring. And then he calls this tool dirty. You see, I don't want to do the YouTube algorithm, but dirty, and you know the tool is. He says he loves it, and then he tries licking it. It's so shocking. How does this get past any censors? They even make it look like the cat is hanging by a noose, then they think he's a piñata, and one kid whacks him right in the neutered area as he screams and sees the light for half a second. This movie's too fast for me. The cat tries whacking the kid with the bat. Apparently the babysitter is triggered to wake up with the slightest noise of a phone call, but nothing else.
Where is he with the bat?
The cat still hates the dog. Surprise. Then the cat consoles Sally for not being invited to a party by telling her to live alone and die alone. All Hail King Julian doesn't shock me. It may seem that way, but it doesn't. But this genuinely shocks me. How does this get past censors? I mean, I'm not necessarily against it at all. It's freaking hilarious. But I know that there are volumes of people who definitely would be. And logic dictates that censors would listen to parents. Maybe that's who the test audience is.
I'm stressing out.
The
This is
test
actually
audience
hurting
are
my
Karens.
That's exactly who it
Turns
is.
out the test audience are Karens.
Oh my god.
The cat also seems to have a normal cool car. Turns out it sucks, and it's an acronym that spells out slow. He then spells out a phrase that would normally be shortened as a shit. This isn't subtle humor. How was this film made? This is all important because I think the concept of this film being highly inappropriate.
Me and this dude are on the
is
same
root
wave right now.
of the test audience, the test town. This is all a test in audience reactivity, and in a very twisted way, we are a part of it. The cat then describes impulsivity versus conscience in a very basic way that
looks like the
proves
Joker
he probably isn't a
in that
psychopath,
poster.
not that needed to be differentiated. The cat will spontaneously say things that random people in his life have said. For example, his mechanic. He stares down the cameras and asks when's the last time he's had his brakes checked. They see a semi-truck with a Rhode Island license plate. The cat claims his plan was to destroy their house, ditch the kids, and trick Alec Baldwin. Sounds sort of like a horrible, resentful family member. The cat mocks hippies and says he prefers the term canine American over dog. Then they enter a phone booth that leads to an Austin Powers party, seemingly honoring the cat. The mom doesn't seem to suspect that the father is involved, despite Alec Baldwin ensuring it is the case. But I don't know how deep this in-universe universe goes, considering these fictional writers are nut jobs. In the corners of shots, strange happenings happen. There's some dude just standing in the middle of town with a Persian cat in his arms, and nothing is made of it. By the way, this CGI is clearly being rendered live on the set because of how bad it is. For a second I thought Alec Baldwin was an older version of Conrad, a version from the future in which he didn't learn discipline. Then I realized how backwards that would be considering
that when he
mom,
died?
so I dropped it. At this point, and at this depth, I'd not even be fazed if they were to flat out explain the hallucinations. Which, by the way, they do. Turns out the cat literally spells out to the kids what's happening. When they accidentally unleash the mother of all messes and merge the two worlds into a CGI blob, he says, "This is what happens when you eat bad shellfish." So apparently the kids are having a shared fever dream. Not hallucinogenics then, well, not in the typical sense. So there's her explanation for the in-universe universe's inconsistencies. Perhaps they truly are just seeing the cat, but from what I can tell, if he is a vision, they're envisioning their father. There's too many consistencies. He's a representation of their father one way or a damn another. Get this. They jump on the babysitter and ride her around the cat's universe like a roller coaster, and when Conrad points this out, time completely freezes and the cat says, "You mean like at Universal Studios?" Cha-ching! As he holds up two pamphlets. This is the king of all shameless plugs.
Whoa, wait, whoa.
This is the single most shame.
You guys see that?
Oh.
It's a whole ass face right here, bro. It's a whole ass face. I can't zoom in, but this is a face. Eyes, nose, mouth. Fuck, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out.
Plug I've ever seen shamelessly plugged, and it so completely proves that there is a test audience sitting right there. The fourth wall break to end all fourth wall breaks. Cinema be damned. Cat says he loves that new ball smell. He then says he manipulated them the entire day, and that it was also they'd learn a lesson. They clean up. Smash Mouth even gets a song which the cat references more made in Philippines than he leaves. So it can't all be fake, as Alec Baldwin is covered in goop afterwards and their mother sees it. There's also the fish, which is still sapient CGI after the cat leaves, and the couch, which breaks elasticity physics. So again, there are pieces of this experiment that aren't hallucinated, and of course, it's a play as well. Turns out the cat was the film's narrator, and he signs off by asking how the kids got so smart, as if he's known them and raised him his whole life. So, in summary, this film is crazy. It took me 2 weeks to watch it because of how exhausting it is. The whole town is an experiment of some sort, and shellfish poisoning possibly plays into the hallucinated element. The cat is likely their creepy father dressed up, still trying to parent them in a way, or they're visualizing him in a fever dream, but it's still their father or a representation of him. This is all one massive stage play being shown to test audiences at Universal, likely children and their parents, as a sort of inappropriateness quality check. Utterly whack. This is one of the craziest films I've ever stumbled upon, and the best way to describe it still is that this whole film is honestly a gateway dark comedy for children. It's loaded with unintentional symbolism and randomness, and I love it for its self-aware stupidity. Now I have to get back to Mort. Oh god. Can this channel really still deepen? Yes. Until next time, I'm the Theorizer.
I'm stressed out.
I cut out for 10 seconds.
That fucked me up. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, that fucked me way up. Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up. Because we're coming up on 2 hours soon. I didn't mean for this to be out, but we will have a part 2. part 2 will consist of time,
More
space,
Cat in the Hat.
birds, maybe even more Cat in the Hat. I'm not gonna even lie to you. Maybe.
No, Scooby-Doo the movie.
We're gonna see what I can find. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna go into some deep research. If I make it out alive, then hey, we'll get into
Alright,
it. But if
then.
this is it, then I'll die.
I'll see you guys then.
But yes, we'll see you, Nick. Thank you for stopping by.
Of course, at me anytime.
We'll
and
see
I'll
you
hop in.
later.
Of course.
Later, guys.
All right.
We'll see you later.
We'll go ahead and start wrapping it up while Nick heads out. Tune in next week for part 2. Check out our latest episode.
I will be there.
I will be there. We'll all be there. And so we'll Cat in the Hat. We will talk about some more conspiracies and some more wild shit. I'm not gonna. All I can say is birds aren't real. If you don't know what that means, go look it up because we're gonna talk about it. Check out our latest episode where we talk about a lot of crazy shit. We save lives and stop cancer.
And I was having audio issues.
Oh yeah, his dementia is in there. It's probably the best fucking thing I've put into this podcast. The ad break in between is just perfect. But with that being said, it's been a great night. I'm Father B, and that's all I gotta say.
I said 6-1.